So with us now, two people who know how it feels to change tack on Brexit. Claire Enders voted to remain in 2016, but now thinks the UK should leave the EU. Hi, Claire.
Hello.
Hi. And Emma Nookie's here as well. Emma voted to leave in the referendum, but now wants to stay. Hello, Emma.
Hello there. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Emma. Say hello to Claire. Claire, say hello to Emma.
Hello, Emma.
Claire, pleasure meeting you.
So, right, guys. So Claire, I'll take you through it first then. Why originally did you vote to remain?
Well, I vote in Scotland, and in Scotland, 63% of the population voted to remain. So I feel very Scottish, and I voted up there. And then subsequently, when the Leave result came through, I and many other business people decided that that was the will of the people, and therefore there was an opportunity to make this work, even reluctantly to begin with. And that's why I think we should leave. It's because the majority of the country who voted for that outcome, and business people have to make things work, even if it's not a perfect world.
Okay, Emma, you were one of those who voted to leave. Why did you make that stance in 2016?
I was very 50-50 during the referendum. The main reasons why in the end I decided to vote leave was I'm a mum with two children who have had quite severe disabilities. So the amount stated for the NHS and frontline service funding did sway me. I also felt we'd be having a good deal with the EU, that we'd be staying in the single market at least. I remember seeing Mr Hannan say it on TV.
Okay, so that persuaded you to leave, and how recently did you change your mind?
I remember the day after the referendum, Mr Farage and Good Morning Britain said that the key pledge by Vote Leave the NHS and frontline service funding was a mistake, quote, by Vote Leave, and I felt really shocked, hurt, wanted to see how things went, but as time went on, especially seeing the impact it's had on British and Europe and EU citizens in the UK, that's what's really made me be vocal about changing my mind.
Right, and what have people said to you who know? For example, were you criticised in the first instance for voting leave by people? What did people say to you?
To be honest, everyone's been really respectful, the same way I think Clary's been very respectful. I've not really had any issues at all. I found actually people being very open and understanding and very compassionate. I also don't feel people are wrong for voting a particular way. I think people voted for what they felt was the best reasons. It's just right now I do feel I wish I could have my vote again, given what I know now.
Yeah. Have you had conversation with other people who voted to leave and haven't changed their minds? Do they think you perhaps betrayed the cause, do they?
No. To be honest, no, they respect my view for being my view. Just as I wouldn't speak for all Leave voters, they respect me for speaking my voice.
Okay. Claire, have you been through a similar process? Has anybody said
Well,
anything?
I wish I had. But no, I've had a lot of very acrimonious debates over my positions. And in fact, I've lost really dear friends who were hardened Leavers and indeed no dealers. So I'm not speaking to people who fall on the extreme end of the Leave divide because in any case, they're not interested in me. But certainly I've had many acrimonious conversations, not least with my family because my son voted Leave and my daughter voted Remain. And both of them were very unhappy that I changed position. My daughter, because she's very in favor of a second ref, and she feels that young people like her, their views have not been taken account of, and she had voted, but other people hadn't. And my son thinks that, I don't understand how important it is to keep no deal on the table because I'm one of the many business people who keep saying, let's take no deal off the table and let's start afresh. And above all, let's just get through this as quickly as we can. And, obviously there are many people who are still very hung up on their ideology. So I think it's been a fascinating experience. I also, you can hear it in my voice, I'm an immigrant. So during the run-up to the vote, I did get told on 3 different occasions by people that I should just go home because of my views, which was extraordinary given that I don't have another country to go to and I have been in this country for 40 years. So there was a lot of shocking things, but you walk around with a foreign accent, you might get what you deserve and people might not look at you as if I felt that there was not the same inclusion of immigrants during the run-up to the referendum and even since, as there had been in the 38 years since I'd arrived in this country. I felt the welcome mat had really been severely pulled.
I just wonder, particularly with you, Claire, bearing in mind what you've been through, Emma, your transition's been a lot easier, shall we say, from Leave from Leave to Remain. But Claire, have you thought often? Look, I'm just not going to bother mentioning my position here. Do you actually actively tell people you've changed your mind?
Absolutely. I as an immigrant, I deeply believe in our democracy, our democratic processes, and I feel I'm part of every solution. And I also feel that everyone else in this country is part of every future that we have. And so I've loved being engaged with everyone that I meet about how they feel about this extraordinary topic, because to be honest with you, I've been here for almost 40 years and there's been never a topic that everyone had a view on that was different or the same, but actually it's been something that set the whole country alight in a way that nothing else has.
Yeah, well, we've been talking about this on the programme. Well, it's certainly non-party political, a lot of the way that people in the country voted, whether that at the moment in Parliament it's been reflected, isn't it, party politically more by and large, but in the country it's brought up a whole new form of politics on the doorstep now. If there was to be a general election, I think people will be asking, did you vote Leave or Remain, as opposed to are you red or blue? It's a fascinating time. Listen, Claire, thank you for talking to us.
You're most welcome.
Thank you. Cheers, Emma, as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Could I just say to Claire, my heart goes out to her. The way I want to protect the 5 million, she's more than entitled to her voice. Totally with you, Claire.
Thank you, Emma.
Yeah,
I might feel differently, but I can respectfully agree to disagree. That's why I want to put it to the people.
Okay, we found a consensus. Didn't take 3 years, did it? Thank you, Emma. Thank you, Claire. If you've got any thoughts on that, 85058 at BBC 5 Live. 6:32 now.